Hello healers and health seekers, it's me, Ichota, healing with medical medium information for 3.5 years now. If you want to know what I'm healing from, mast cell activation disorder, dysautonomia POTS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypothyroid, migraines, PCOS, there's so many things. It's all in the description box below. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. Well, a little bit I am. I'm here to talk about what I have learned on my healing journey and share with you some tips and tricks about the frequently asked question, I've been doing this for X amount of time, why am I not healing? And the X amount of time is usually a very small amount of time. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, a month, 5 months, and I'm here to talk about that. So let's talk about troubleshooting. First of all, I just have to say, healing takes time. The illnesses, the pathogens, the toxins that have built up in our bodies, some of us came onto this planet, we're born into this world with compromised livers. Did you have jaundice as a baby? Colic? Anything like that? That's a compromised liver. You have a compromised liver as a baby. I had jaundice when I was born, which means I came in with a compromised liver, not working at capacity, which means all of the pathogens and toxins that I was exposed to throughout my life, being alive on this planet in this body, have built up over the years, and it's going to take some time to get them all out again. They built up to the point where at age 40 is when my health started tanking, but it took a few years to fully tank. It got worse. It got worse from the point where I thought it had tanked. It actually got worse from there. And that was around age 40, and then fully, that whole ordeal was about 5 years long. It was around age 45 that I actually found medical medium. But that didn't happen overnight. Even that 5 years, my health didn't tank in 5 years. My health tanked in 45 years. Do you understand? It built up over time to the point where I was no longer functional. That did not just happen. It was building up, building up, building up, building up, building up. That's true for all of us. You did not get sick overnight. You might think you did. The trigger may have been pulled that sent the viral explosion happening to where you became just non-functional, or when you started noticing that you were losing function. But what led to the point of that trigger being pulled, that built up over time. So just like we didn't get sick overnight, we are not going to suddenly heal miraculously overnight. And when you read stories or hear stories about people healing with medical medium information, it is the rare story where someone says, oh, it took me less than a year. And if they did, oh my gosh, how lucky are they that it took them less than a year? How lucky are they that they didn't have that huge pathogen load, or that they caught it before they got to that, not even huge pathogen load, but huge toxin load. They caught it before they got to that level. That's hugely amazing and lucky and bully to them. And here's the other thing. We are all snowflakes. We are all so completely different. It might take some people just a few months to heal, and it might take others of us a few years to heal. And for me, I know that when I started this journey, in my head, I knew I didn't get sick overnight. And so I thought, if I have to spend the next 5 years healing, I'm fine with that. 10 years, I don't care, because spending 5 to 10 years healing is way better than spending 5 to 10 years getting sicker and sicker and sicker, or just getting closer and closer to death and then finally dying as a great relief to all the pain and suffering, which is kind of where I was at the point when I found medical medium. I was at the point where pretty soon I was probably going to see myself exiting the planet because I was so sick. And I worried about dying every day, and alternately prayed for dying every day, because it was so horrible and so bad, and it was such a struggle to live, and to watch my son and my husband have to watch me suffer and to be suffering, it was just like, what is the point of my life here? Like, this is not helping anybody. And I am so grateful that I found the medical medium information. But listen, when we talk about our miraculous healing, for me, day 3 was miraculous. I did not have a full laying on the sofa every single day to walking and not using my wheelchair recovery in 3 days. No, man. But what I did have was energy where I had never had energy before. And to me, that was a miracle. I had no energy for years of my life. Years. And when I say no, I don't mean you come home from work and you're tired and you feel like you're out of energy so you want to go to sleep. No, not normal no energy. Deep fatigue to where it's like the car has run out of gas. No amount of anything is going to move it forward because it's out of fuel. There is nothing that will propel it forward until you put fuel in it. Well, putting celery juice and raw food into my body put fuel in it for the first time in years. And I felt the difference. And it wasn't huge like some people would see, but to me it was everything. And so that was miraculous. So when I talk about my miraculous healing and how fast that was for me, you know, over time things got better and better and better and better and better, and they healed more and more and more and more and more. It's a slow process. The liver has a lot of toxins to clear out, and you need to stop giving it such high fats so that it can actually do that job and clear out. And that takes time for the body to return to homeostasis and for things to go back to normal. And life can still happen in the meanwhile. You can pick up more pathogens going out of your house. You can go somewhere. You can go to a restaurant or a friend's house or anywhere, and you can pick up a new strain of strep. You can pick up new viruses all the time, you know? We're always being exposed to new pathogens, and then there's always more toxins coming at us from every direction, from our clothes, from the products that we use, from the air that we breathe, the water we drink, the food that we eat. Everything has got stuff in it. And so it really takes time to get that stuff out and to get it to where it's coming out on a regular basis, and so that when new stuff comes in, it doesn't get stuck in there and it doesn't build up in the liver, and it just keeps going out. That's what the heavy metal detox smoothie is about. That's what the celery juice is about. That's what the cleansing and healing foods are about. So, that being said, that it takes time to heal, and that it's important to know that it takes time to heal, there are other things that you can look at in your world and in your environment if things are getting worse rather than getting better. I want to say one more thing about that. One more thing. So here's the other thing. Muniza made this analogy the other day. I thought it was great. I'm going to steal it. Chronic illness can often be like a speeding train. The train was already barreling down the track. So you suddenly trying to stop it, it's not going to not necessarily stop it. It might just keep running over, and it's not going to stop until you are able to apply consistent, constant, gentle pressure to slow it down, and then finally it'll stop. And then once it stops, you can finally have things start to reverse. But there are a lot of things in chronic illness that even though you have started eating a healing diet, and even though you are eating the healing foods and doing the best things for yourself, a lot of times there were already things coming down the line. There were already things building up in your body and coming down the line and ready to go, that they were queued up and ready to go. And even though you're eating the healing foods, that barreling train is still going. But you're applying the pressure now. You're applying the brakes, and eventually it is going to stop and start reversing. Okay? So you have to know that even though you don't see the results immediately, that what you're doing, if you are using the medical medium information, eating the healing foods, doing the healing supplements, taking the healing herbs, doing the meditations, talking to the angels, you have to know that is going to work, because what you are doing for your body is beneficial in the long run and long term and for your greater good. So it is going to work. And even if you're not seeing results right away, I promise that they are coming. They are coming. Please have faith, have hope, and have trust, because it is so important that you know that you can heal. Once you know how the body really works and what it's really doing for you and what those foods really do and those herbs and those supplements, what they really do to heal, you can heal. Having the information is honestly a big part of the battle. Knowing the truth is a big part of the battle, because once you know the truth, it actually really activates your body's capacity to heal, because it's like your body knows you're on board. It knows it's not alone. Suddenly your liver knows it's not alone anymore, because you're with it, you're working with it, instead of it having to do everything all on its own. That is important. Medical Medium talks about that being really important. Okay, now, that having been said, there are things that you can do if you're not seeing the results that you think you should be seeing after a period of time. Now, please know that a period of time is not a few weeks or even a few months. You really need to give it time. And I'm not saying that you won't see results at all, but there are some ways that you can know if you're really seeing results. Now, one of the things that I wish I had done, but I will still advise everybody to do, because it's not something that I did originally, is make a master list, preferably in a spreadsheet, of your symptoms. In that spreadsheet, in columns, rate your symptoms on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least amount and 10 being the highest, where you are with each symptom. And then you can do that each period of time, like maybe every 3 months. Check in, look at each symptom. Where am I on a scale of 1 to 10? And once you start to see, like every 3 months, maybe it's just improved, like maybe I got a time. I'm sorry, my pug is, Muffins is snoring her head off, and I'm sure you can hear her. Anyway, once you see, maybe it's just a tiny improvement, but there is improvement once you realize that that is happening, because it's so easy not to, because once you don't have a symptom anymore, or maybe it's smaller symptoms that disappear first, it's like those weren't really on your radar as much, so you might not notice. And you also, it becomes like, this is my new normal, so it's like you almost don't notice that you're healing. But that's why that's why I do victory check videos, because to say like, oh my gosh, this, so I don't forget, like I had that going on. There are so many times somebody will be telling a story about their healing journey or what's happened and what's healing for them, and I realize, oh my gosh, I had that symptom and I totally forgot. I forgot that I had totally dry eyes when I started Medical Medium information. My eyes were so dry all the time. But it wasn't one of my primary symptoms that I was so concerned about. But those dry eyes healed so quickly starting this information that I forgot altogether that it was even something that I had, until one day somebody's talking about it and I was like, oh, I used to have that. And it's gone now. It's so gone that I just forgot I had it altogether. There are symptoms that can go like that for you. So keep track. Keep a spreadsheet and look and really check your progress, because I think you might be surprised to find that things are improving more than you think they are. Now, another thing that you can do is look in your environment. What are you being exposed to? Medical Medium has a show on environmental illness. That is a really important show to listen to. I will link it below, because it helps you see what you're being exposed to in your environment that you might not even realize is an ongoing source of toxicity. Do you have plug-in air fresheners in your environment? Oh my gosh, I hope not. I hope that is like a common sense thing at this point not to have those, because those are pouring toxins into your liver. Are you using scented petrochemical laundry detergents? Most people do. all the name brands. Those are all petrochemicals. Everyone you're familiar with. There are safer brands to use. Medical Medium has them linked on his website. He has different sections on his website. There's like supplements, preferred supplements, and then he has teas, and then he has pet care, and then there's one for children. He has personal care, and he has kitchen supplies. I think that's them. Anyway, it's on his website. He's got the laundry detergent. So there's safer laundry detergents you can use. Are you using fabric softener at all? Don't. Those fabric softeners loaded with cancer-causing chemicals. Loaded. Safer alternatives are dryer balls, which you can take a wool dryer ball and you can put a couple of drops of essential oil on it, put it in your dryer, and then your laundry, if you want it to have a nice scent, will have a safe, nice scent. And make sure to only get the highest quality essential oils. And I'm not talking about the multi-level marketing ones either, because they're not. The highest quality ones, Medical Medium recommends Living Libations. That's one that he recommends. And another one that I've seen that he said is okay that I use is Plant Therapy. Those are ones that I know that I've seen him say are okay. People will tell you differently. People will say, oh no, he likes that other multi-level marketing one. No, he has never said that. Never, never, never. He would not recommend multi-level marketing anything. They're mistaking it because Living Libations sounds like the other one. Just that's to be clear. Okay, so you want only the highest quality, purest essential oils. Another thing you can do for dryer sheets is there's lavender sachets. You can do a sachet of lavender. You can either sew one yourself using lavender flowers, or Trader Joe's has them. And that's another thing if you really feel like you want a scent in your clothes. Some people who are chemically sensitive are sensitive to lavender, so that might not be a possibility for you. But I'm just saying, we don't scent our clothes. Sometimes we use the lavender sachets, but they do, after a few washes, after a few laundry loads, they can explode in your dryer and cause a lot of mess. So I don't know if those are the best. If you are going to do a lavender sachet, I might recommend making one yourself so that that doesn't happen. But I'm just saying that's a possibility. You could probably do the same with rose petals. That would be really nice. Any kind of, dried flower that smells good to you. Okay, shampoos, conditioners, makeups, hairsprays, all hair products. The lotions that you put on your skin, all of that stuff can have scents in it. It can all have toxic ingredients, and any kind of use of those products can be toxic. Look for safer alternatives. Again, Medical Medium has some linked on his website. You can look there. Just look for products that don't have things like, there's so many things, phthalates and parabens and sulfates and citric acid and alcohol, and oh my gosh, there's so many ingredients that are toxic. But just try to look for pure stuff. Also in your environment, there's gasoline, motor oil, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. New clothing always has fungicides on it. Always, always, always. These days, I've noticed all of the plastic bags are scented. And if you think they're not, they are. Grocery stores with produce bags are starting to scent their produce bags. It is sick. It is sick. And it's in the name of, it's a fungicide, so it keeps the foods from getting moldy. That is such BS. I cannot even tell you. It's just a freaking marketing tactic for the chemical companies to put more of their poisons on our products and our foods and our clothing and everything. It gets in everything. Cotton, which used to be such a safe fabric, is such a safe material. Cotton is genetically modified. So if you buy new clothes, or if you buy, actually, honestly, I'm going to tell you, a lot of thrift stores are even worse than buying new clothes. And it's horrible because they put fungicides all over their stuff because it's used. And they'll often spray it also with Febreze to like make it smell better, supposedly. But Febreze, those room sprays and those like making everything smell better sprays, those are loaded with cancer-causing chemicals. Those are so super toxic. So if you use any of those spray things to scent things, those are terrible. There are recipes online where you can make your own, again, with essential oils, and they are so much better for you. Again, use only high-quality essential oils. So, what else is super toxic in our environments? Oh, again, with the clothes. Okay. So with the clothes, any new clothes you buy are going to be loaded with fungicides. Medical Medium says to wash them about, 6 to 8 times. I wash them 8 times before I trust that they're clean. And I have a very, very chemically sensitive nose, so I wash them until there's no smell. That's how I can tell. And then, again, with thrift store clothes are often worse. I have had to wash thrift store clothes like 10 to 12 times to get the smell out, to where I finally feel like they're safe. So just be aware of that. Not every thrift store, the smaller thrift stores that are not like national chains, they tend to be a lot better, and they don't use all those sprays on their clothes. So if you have a store like that and you trust it, and you walk in and it doesn't smell like chemicals, it's probably a lot better. But the big name ones, the ones that are national names, they totally treat all of their stuff, and it's horribly, horribly toxic. And also thrift store clothes can be loaded with mold, despite all the fungicides. Fungicides actually just create super molds is what they do. They don't get rid of mold, they create super molds. It's horrible. So you could be being exposed to things like that in your environment. Even in products you use, if they're like sanitary products or stuff like that. Like if you're a woman and you use sanitary products, a lot of them have all of these chemicals and bleaches and stuff in it, and that can leach into your skin and into your body. It's best to use cloth. If you're using those products, it's actually best to not insert anything into your body, because that can actually be really toxic to your system, no matter how natural or organic it is. It's really best to use cloth, like a pad. It's really safer. It's so much safer for your body. I know that people like the convenience of the kind that you can insert. Even the cups are not really very good for your body because of what they're made of. I think also, and because you insert them, it's your body needs to cleanse. It's the whole purpose of a period is to cleanse, okay? So you want to get it out of you, not keep it in there for any reason. And so yeah, cloth pads are really better and safer, and you can find unbleached ones. You can make your own. There's patterns online, or you can buy them from people sometimes. Yeah, it's just, they're safer that way. Oh, I almost forgot to say, and I feel like I shouldn't have to say, because doesn't everybody know how toxic these are? But I know people don't. Perfumes and colognes are like the most toxic, horrible thing you can do to your liver. And if you are getting exposures to those every day, it's super toxic. And so yeah, that can be exacerbating your symptoms. Any of these toxins that you're exposed to, if you're exposed to excess radiation, if you're exposed to excess like EMFs, stuff like that, that's electromagnetic frequencies, like there's a lot of dirty electricity in your environment. I mean, honestly, all of these things. Now, EMFs can be mitigated. Medical Medium has taught us using Orgonite. So if you get an Orgonite pyramid, there's a few Orgonite suppliers that I really like who make really good Orgonite. Cat WB 444, she makes good Orgonite. I'll link to her below. Fingerprint Orgonite, Organize Africa, Violet Flame Organ, which I believe I bought this pyramid from. Look at this, it's gorgeous. I love their work. She makes really good pyramids. This is very heavy. You want like a 50-50 concentration of metals to stones. You want a good density of the metals. And they don't have to be like colorful like this at all. This is just art. Somebody took the liberty. She does a lot of, more artistic, but she still does high quality Orgonite. And you want to make sure it's high quality, and high quality does cost a little more. That's true. But These are good for mold, medical medium says, and they are good for EMFs. You put them by your router, you put them by your computers, you put them by your TVs, you put them by your devices. You can get little tower busters, you can grid the corners of your house, you can put them in every room, and they're great for a lot of things. They transmute negative energy into positive energy, and it might seem a little woo-woo to some people, but I'm telling you, they work. And you want the pyramids. I think medical medium says the pyramids. So I just stick to the pyramids. They make other shapes, but I trust the pyramids. Another possible source of ongoing exposure to pathogen feeding toxins in your environment is your food. Now, medical medium has told us what foods to avoid, and it's in all the books, and you know, right? But if you're not finding healing, are you really doing all of the medical medium information, or are you picking and choosing what you feel like you want to do? Because I'm just going to be honest with you, if you are still eating no foods, that's going to hamper your healing. I mean, if you're continuing to eat no foods, you're still feeding the pathogens. That's just a fact. If you're still feeding the pathogens, how are they going to get out of your body? How are they going to leave? How are they going to stop making you ill? That's just how that is. Like, if you keep eating no foods, it's so important to take out all the foods that feed the pathogens. And just for the record, a lot of people don't seem to realize this. I did not realize this at first, so that's not a criticism. I didn't realize it for the first year of my healing. Grains feed strep. It is in the medical medium in the grains show, and he talks about it, and that includes rice. Yes, it includes rice. Does feed strep. So if strep is a pathogen that you are dealing with, you just want to avoid grains altogether, all of them. I wish it weren't true. I miss rice. But I definitely am dealing with strep, and once I realized that that was the case, I stopped eating it, and it definitely has improved since then. So it is so important just to take out all the no foods and not be eating them, and really focus on healing foods. And if you're eating at restaurants, are you eating at restaurants and wondering why you're not healing? Well, there's a lot of hidden no foods in restaurant food. Like, they'll use oils like canola, and they'll use things like corn and soy, and little ingredients like, just a little bit of soy sauce or something like that. Well, that's still soy and wheat, actually. So you just have to be super careful about things like that. It's not that you can't eat at restaurants, but I would really be proactive. If you're going to eat at restaurants, call ahead and make triple check that there is not triple check that there is not hidden. Just tell them, these are foods I cannot have. Tell them you're allergic to them. People understand the word allergic. It's not a lie, because those foods do make us sick. They really are an allergy causing food. So tell the chef you're allergic, and you really need to make sure that you are not ingesting any of these foods. Call ahead and pre-order something or something, just say this special meal for me when I come in, whatever. Just be proactive. So those are things. Also, regarding food, are you drinking celery juice every morning? Are you drinking lemon water every day? Are you making sure that you are hydrated? Because hydration is super important. Are you eating enough calories of the fruits and vegetables? Are you lowering your fats? It is super important to lower the fats so that the liver does not have to take on the burden. Again, something I kind of didn't, I lowered the fats, but I didn't realize how low it was important to get them. So for the first, maybe 18 months, I kind of wasn't lowering them enough. And again, it's baby steps, right? I'm not it's so stupid or anything like that. It's just that brain fog. And then also, he really got more clear about how low the fats should be. When he started talking about liver rescue and stuff like that, it became more and more clear to me about probably 18 months into my healing, how important it was to lower the fat. So, and now I'm sharing it with you. That's important. It's in Liver Rescue. Now it's there. It's there in print, and you can see, and you can read it for yourself. And he talks about percentages, and now you know. But these are important things. Like, it really is important that you are eating enough fruits and vegetables. It's important that you support your adrenals. Every 60 to 90 minutes, you should be eating some kind of adrenal snack and supporting your adrenals. It's important to get enough fruit and enough greens. You want like maybe a 50-50. You want a lot of greens and a lot of fruit, because those are the healing fruits. Greens build muscle, they provide fuel, they provide energy, and they're super important to your healing. Fruit provides fuel, provides glucose, which helps activate all the cells and helps the healing get into all the cells, and they are both crucially important. It is important to have the mineral salts and the potassium and the glucose. And so fruits and greens, like, eat lots of fruits and greens. Don't forget the greens. The leafy greens are super important. Again, another thing that I was having leafy greens, but I wasn't like really trying to hit that pound of greens. But it's stuff that I've picked up over time. So now you can benefit from my mistakes and what I've learned along the way. So fruit and greens, lots of calories because it takes a lot to make up for the caloric density of those high fat foods that you were eating. So you need to eat a lot more and a lot more frequently. And yes, more than you think, I promise. You're going to be like, I can't eat that much. Then make a smoothie and drink it, because you got to get it in you to really get yourself on that healing track. Yeah. So the foods are just, that's all very important with the foods. And are you doing the meditations, and are you talking to the angels? Because people think that it's all about the foods with the medical medium healing, and it is not all about the foods. The meditations are very important to help us rebuild our trust, to help restore our souls, and the foods do definitely help with that. But doing the meditations and talking to the angels also is crucially important for that. Like, really crucially important. I felt so goofy talking to the angels at first. It took me a very, very long time, but I did it. I did it every day. I made a list of all the angels that he puts in all the books, because he keeps adding like one or two here or there. He'll add in each book. And I made a list of all the angels that he said so far. I keep them next to my bed. I go down the list at night. A lot of it I haven't memorized, because I know the ones I talk to every single day. During the day, I end up talking to them too. But this all took time to build up. And at first, I just started with the basics. I just went down my list and said the ones that I thought that I needed to talk to. And it doesn't have to be all of them, right? You can pick a few. That these are the ones that are important to you. You can just pick a few and just make those your regular ones. I would say, if you're going to pick a few, make the angel of faith one you definitely talk to every single day. Ask the angel of faith for faith. It does help you build faith. And I would say, do the angel of trust meditation if you can, which is the sunset trust meditation. But you know what? Don't listen to me on that one. Choose the ones that resonate with you. Choose whatever meditations resonate the most with you. And it doesn't matter even if you just pick one, but do it every single day. Just do it every single day. Just put it into practice. Those things are important. Another thing for troubleshooting would be consistency. Are you doing the supplements every single day? Are you doing the celery juice every single day? Are you doing lemon water every single day? Are you doing the heavy metal detox smoothie every single day? There are crucial elements to the foods. I think that's what I was going to say before, and I kind of trailed off on it. I don't know where I went, but there are crucial elements to the foods. Lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox smoothie. And honestly, even salads and spinach soup, like, as long as you're doing raw fruits and vegetables, you can put those in whatever forms, but getting the greens in, fruits and greens, high amounts of both. But are you doing those? I've had people say, like, oh, I stalled out in my healing, and then they start looking outside the medical medium information, and it turns out actually they never even did the heavy metal detox smoothie. And I'm like, well, if you're not doing all of the things that he recommends, and you're not doing the information, then how are you going to say that you're not, like, oh, it's not working? Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Also, speaking of looking outside, here's the thing about medical medium information is it is complete. It is the whole truth. So it's really not, I don't think it's where you pick and choose a little bit. Like, you can't pick and choose and only do parts of it and then say it's not working. Because what's really true is you're not actually doing it. You're only doing what you want to do. You got to just do all of it. You got to take it all and have some faith, because it does work. It's how the body really works. It's what's really the root cause of our illnesses. And when you put those together, and you take the information about what these foods really do in our bodies to help us heal, then it's going to work. Like, you're going to heal that because it's the truth. And you can't say, oh, I did this one part of it and it didn't work. And it didn't. No, it works. You just didn't do it. It's not the same thing. So you really have to take all of the information and use all of it, and not just decide, well, I don't feel like doing that part, so I'm not going to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do the celery juice. And if you can't get celery juice, yeah, there are alternatives. You know, I know that some countries like India, it's like really hard to get celery. I get it. But I also understand that you can special order it. So there are ways to get it, but it's one of those things like, if you really can't, there are alternatives, but you really, if you can, you want to, if you have access to it, just do it. Just do it as written, because that's how it's going to work. And you want it to work. You deserve to heal. You can heal if you just use and apply the information. And like I said, even if you don't do it 100%, you know, like I didn't realize that grains fed strep. So for the first year of my healing, I was still eating rice. And I wish I had known, I would have stopped. I stopped as soon as I realized I stopped. And I was like, but you know what? I had a lot of brain fog at first. And sometimes it is baby steps. So I'm not saying, oh, you got to do everything perfectly all at once. Hurry up and start. You know, that's not what I'm saying at all. Because baby steps are still steps forward. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're still moving forward if you're taking baby steps. Everything you do positive for yourself is a step in the right direction. So I'm not saying, oh, if you've only started and you're only doing this and blah, blah, blah. If you're working towards it, that is wonderful. Do that. Like, keep doing whatever is going to propel you forward. I'm saying there are people who only decide to do one part of it and have no intention of taking on the rest of it. And then they say, oh, it didn't work, because they didn't really do it. And I know you're not that person. You know what I mean? I know you guys aren't. But I am saying that if you want it to work, you have to do all of it. You just need to. And yeah, it's totally fine to take that in small stages. Look, there are times when some people are so reactive to supplements and so reactive to even the healing foods that it's too much to start with the full amount. That is okay. That is okay. Start with less. If 16 ounces of celery juice is just really intense for you because the die-off that it is causing, because celery juice kills pathogens, okay? It kills pathogens, it's restoring the hydrochloric acid, and sometimes 16 ounces is too much for a person to start with because the die-off reaction is so intense because they're so sick. And they have so many pathogens and so many toxins in their body that when they have that die-off reaction, it is just intense and it makes them feel so much worse. Don't start with 16 ounces. Start with 2. Start with 4. Start with whatever you can tolerate. Go down to the amount that feels okay to you. Start there and work your way up. Do 2 ounces for a week. Then go to 4. If 4 is too much, go to 3. Like, do whatever you can. You know what I mean? Just build it up slowly. You know what you can tolerate. You know how it feels in your body. It doesn't mean you can't do it if you can't do the full amount right away. You can start smaller and build up, okay? Same with supplements. If the supplements, you know, I was super sensitive to supplements at first. I had to go super slow, really slow. Some of them I was able to do because I knew I could already tolerate them. Other ones, like cat's claw, I had to start with 1 drop. 1 drop. But you know what? Anthony says one drop makes a difference. So do it. Start slow and build up over time. It's okay, because whatever you're doing to push yourself forward and to move yourself forward is progress, and you are going to get there. It just takes time, but you have to have compassion for yourself and your process, and give yourself permission that it is going to take time, and you are willing to take the time with yourself and be patient with yourself to let your body heal in its own process, in its own time. That's important. And you can build up over time. You will be able to do more over time. I have a friend, it took her like 2.5, 3 years just to introduce barley grass juice powder. She did all of the other parts of the heavy metal detox smoothie. She could not. Barley grass juice powder, because of her sensitivities, was just too much for her every time. She just finally was able to introduce it. She's so happy, but she persisted. She kept trying little bits of it over time until she could do it, and now she can do it. And it's just like, because she's healed enough that now she can tolerate it. So that's going to take her healing even to the next level, because she's getting stronger and stronger. For some of us, we are so chemically sensitive, we are so just sensitive, that it takes a longer time. But if you can do it with perseverance and persistence and patience with yourself and the process, you just got to give yourself that space. You got to hold that space for yourself and just focus on what you can do. That's the other thing, is focus on what you can do. That's so important. This has gotten much longer than I anticipated, but I just felt that all of these things were really important to say. I hope I covered all of it. If I didn't, if you have other tips and tricks, put them in the comments below. I would love to hear them if I forgot anything, or if you have questions about anything I said, if you want me to talk more about it in a future video, let me know. Let me know in the comments below. And if this has helped you, please let me know in the comments below. I really want to know. I'm hoping this can help somebody. I honestly had to make this video because I keep hearing these things over and over again. Even though I've talked about these subjects in different videos before, I just felt it was important to say, give it time, give yourself space, do the work. You can do it, and you can heal. You can. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I hope this has been helpful. If you like it, give a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to my videos by hitting that subscribe button, and ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post new videos, which I do recommend because I'm not always consistent. Again, so many blessings for your continued healing journey. You can heal. Stay curious, my healers and health seekers. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.